What's up, my people? This is Afric 24 Dimba La Sports, whereby I'm your host today, as we are going to take you through most of Premier League competition and also FKF, also local competition, whereby it is here in Dimba La Afrique, whereby you get a lot of football analysis, everything that concerns sports. You are here and you will be welcome to join in this show. And as we start our show today, I'm your host, Paul Kimanzi, and I have Leo here. So we are going to tackle a lot of things when it comes to sports, and we are going to enlighten you until the end of the show. We know that there is a competition that is happening in Premier League. There is a tough battle whereby you don't know who is going to win the Premier League. Now, as Jurgen Klopp's side has slipped, now we have Arsenal and Manchester City. We saw the charges that Manchester City are given, and it's like the FA and the FIFA are not even considering that ban of Manchester City. But again, that is a whole club. When you have money, you have everything. They say that. So Man City has a lot of money, and I think maybe this is one of the things that makes them not to get those charges. 115 charges, Man City, but still Everton with only one charges has been deducted 10 points and also has been banned. So what we are going to discuss here is a lot of things. FKF is happening. Bundesliga is happening. La Liga. We also have the Serie A. I want to welcome Leo to say something because I can see Leo Nyambaya here, our political show host, and I know he is one of the favorite fans of Arsenal. Despite them being slipped in one of the games that were so determinant by Aston Villa, they are still struggling to win the Premier League since 2003. But I know if they win, then that is a win for London because I personally support Chelsea and it is from London. Mr. Leo Nyambaya, welcome to today's Dimba La Freak, and you can tell us something as we start our show. Do you hear me? So we're going to start our show. You know that Premier League is back. Yeah. Bundesliga is back. It's like now we are towards the end of the European football. After a very tough battle in the UEFA Champions League, whereby Manchester City was playing against Real Madrid from Spain, and that competition was so tough. You saw Real Madrid, Carlo Ancelotti's side, pulling a lot of experience from that competition, and that one was the game that made me realize that when it comes to football, you should have that experience because I saw how Luka Modric and Toni Kroos are playing, Cavajal. I saw how Eduardo Camavinga were playing. Eduardo Camavinga is a young player, but again, Jude Bellingham is still a young player, but playing for Real Madrid has given them that strength. They have the strength to even fight with Man City. Man City has one of the biggest squads in the Premier League and also in European football. But again, there was a defeat. They have the best defender in Manchester City. They have the best midfield led by Rodrigo from Hispania. So, a lot of things are happening. Again, you saw Chelsea. Chelsea was defeated by Arsenal 5-0, and a lot of things are being said in the social media. What is the problem in Chelsea? Because this is not the Chelsea that we know. So it's like a lot of things are happening, and we want to know as Chelsea fans what is the problem. Arsenal is trying to win. Mikel Arteta's side is competing now with Pep Guardiola. Mikel Arteta was one of the assistant coaches there in Etihad Stadium, but he got the promotion and joined as Arsenal head coach. Despite him being the legend of Arsenal and Barcelona, Mikel Arteta now is pulling a great performance there in Emirates, and we know after Unai Emery left, then we have the Mikel Arteta, and Unai Emery after he left, he went to see Villarreal, and he won there in Villarreal. Now he's back in Premier League with Aston Villa. Aston Villa today will be playing against Chelsea. So, a lot of things are going to happen, and we are going to discuss them when it comes to football and all sorts of things. Today is game number Today is game number 27. Game number 27 today. We have Fulham playing against Crystal Palace. Manchester United playing against Burnley. Newcastle playing against Sheffield, and the Wolves playing against Luton. Everton playing against Bradford, and Aston Villa playing against Chelsea. That is 8 p.m. East African time. We have West Ham and Liverpool. The game is still ongoing. But when it comes to Liverpool, they lost the game against Everton. That one is a Merseyside derby. Merseyside derby is one of the tough derbies that you will ever experience. Despite the Manchester City derby, no Manchester derby, and also we have the London derby. But you know that when it comes to Merseyside derby, when it is a game played by Liverpool and Everton, you will always get surprise, and the surprises are there, and that is why Sin Duch said, Sinduch is the head coach of Everton. He was coaching Burnley, and again he was sacked in Burnley for quite a long time. Then now Burnley, they have Vincent Kompany, who is a former player for Manchester City, and he is a Belgian Red Devil from Belgium, and now he is the coach for Burnley. Burnley is a team that is made of young players, despite it producing good quality players in like Tim Wood and other players who joined and went. It's going to be a tough. So Liverpool was defeated by Everton. That is a Merseyside derby. When it comes to Merseyside derby, I saw how Liverpool was playing. They had their best players there. They have Mohamed Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold after a long injury. Now he was back. But Liverpool played a very good game, but when it comes to scoring, then Everton, they won the game. That is 2-0 in favor for a Sindridge side. So it's going to be a tough, but we know that when it comes to Premier League, there is no team that is big. We know Chelsea pulled a very poor performance. We saw even Didier Drogba saying that nowadays he does not recognize the club. He said, I don't even recognize the club. Why? Because the kind of play that they're playing, it is not what I have been used to. So it's like we have changes in Chelsea. So when we have changes in Chelsea, then definitely we are going to uh, see how it's going to happen. But when it comes to Chelsea, the legends there, in the likes of Flores Maruda, Fernando Torres, Didier Drogba, Peter Cech, Ramirez, Fasmentos, Oscar Dos Santos, Boba Jr. So they were playing a good game. But now we have the striker there who is Nicholas Jackson. Jackson is there, but he's playing like he doesn't recognize football. But despite the criticism that is there in social media, I think he is going to pull up a very good performance, because if it was not for Nicholas Jackson, then Chelsea would have finished and went to the final of FA when they were playing with Manchester City. So we can see that there is a lot of changes. Now we have Liverpool down 1 goal when they are playing with West Ham. Jared Boyle has already scored. Jurgen Klopp's side now, it is still continuing to slip despite being competent and being defeated by Everton. Now West Ham from London is leading 1 goal against Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp's side, despite I think Jurgen Klopp could not have stated that he's leaving Liverpool by the start of the or towards the end of the season, because now after he announced that, it's like there is a failure that is coming. Now they are down, and again they were in the position to win the Premier League. Now it's like they are struggling to win, and even how they are playing, this is not the Liverpool that we know. But we hope that Manchester City is going to sleep again. But what I can say is that Pep Guardiola is not one of the coaches who makes mistakes when it is towards the end of the season. He knows that this is the time I'm going to win and take this cup. Now he's in finals for FA Cup after defeating Chelsea. They'll be facing Manchester United. They are in the Premier League still. They have high chances of winning the Premier League. They are also in Club World Cup that is happening. So it's like Pep Guardiola is still has a lot of things to do. But what we can say is that they will still get one of the best teams, and like Real Madrid, where they were called some gods. But I think when it comes to Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp needs to talk with these players because I think since he announced the departure, there is some psychological. I don't know if it is psychological or emotional torture because those guys now are playing like they don't understand football. I saw them playing, but again, Liverpool is now changing the old team to new team. Now we have the Conor Bradley there. Conor Bradley is there. Gravenberg is there. We have this Netherlands guy who was signed from PSV. Cody Gakpo. They are trying to change the old players. Now we have the Diaco Alcantara. Diaco Alcantara will be sent as a free agent when it comes to end of this season. And I think Diaco Alcantara is one of the best midfielders that we shall ever see. And if you watch Diago Alcantara when he was playing for Bayern Munich, then you can understand that this is one of the best. I mean, this one of the best. This is one of the best midfielder you will ever see because Diago Alcantara plays a very good match, and Liverpool, is like Jurgen Klopp, does not realize that he has the best midfielder, despite him having a lot of injuries. When it comes to Premier League, you need to understand that this is a different league, whereby this is a battle for the strongest. If you are not strong in Premier League, then definitely I will assure that you are going to flop. If you're not strong in Premier League, you are going to have a lot of challenges. That is why you see a lot of quality players who come in Premier League, and again, despite the hype from the fans, social media, they come and flop. Identify yourself. I tend to believe that Premier League is one of the toughest leagues, and how players there play, maybe it's the defense, maybe it is the midfield, is totally different. Because if you play like La Liga, whereby you can be play Real Betis play against Valencia, the way they play is totally different from what we have in Premier League. But I can say that is why Premier League is rated as one of the best leagues in the world. But again, do we need those players? Do we need those players despite the hype? You see the kind of Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku pulls a great performance when he is in other league, but when it comes to Premier League, then that is where we draw the line. Chelsea brought him from Inter Milan. When he played Inter Milan, he was scoring goals, playing and giving one of the perfect matches. But when he came to Premier League, again back to Chelsea, he was a flop. Fans complained about Romelu Lukaku, but what I can say is that the Premier League is one of the toughest leagues, and you need to understand that because if you come there and you play the same way you play in La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, this one is going to be your problem. And that's why any player who moves away from Premier League, then it definitely is going to perform one of the best. I have seen what is happening in social media. We have this kind of players who play for other leagues, but when they come to Premier League, they flop. The kind of players such as Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo, when he was playing against other teams in World Cup, that is year 2022, that is where Liverpool identified who is Cody Gakpo. He was playing a very good game, but when he came to the real team, that is Liverpool, he has been coming from the bench. Why? Because Jurgen Klopp gave him time, but when he was given time, then that is the problem. It's like he was struggling. Darwin Nunes is there. Darwin Nunes has been playing a very good game, but he is known as the master for hard work. Hard work. When you want to identify what is hard work, then you definitely go for Darwin Nunes. But he misses a lot of chances, and when he misses a lot of chances, he only scores very few, and that is not the kind of striker that Premier League wants. That is the problem we are facing at Chelsea. Chelsea lacks a very strong striker. But I would say that if they are going to depend to Nicholas Jackson, then it's going to be a very tough time for Chelsea because the guy cannot even score a very open chance. Nicholas Jackson can make a move, yes, but he cannot score an open chance. Open chance, Nicholas Jackson misses. So that is what we can say. We have a lot of problems in Premier League. So they are going to see what it will happen. But when you play against big teams, you need to be cautious because I saw what is happening in Manchester United when they were playing against Chelsea. They made a big mistake, and that is where Cole Palmer came and struggled and won the game. That is in 111 minutes. So any small mistake that you make, then it's going to cost you. I saw Jackson missing 5 chances when we were playing against Man City in FA semi-final. That is last week, and that was some of the things that made a lot of fans complain. They complaining because if a player who is very rated and who is playing for big teams, you cannot just come from anywhere to play for Chelsea or Manchester United or my Arsenal. You need to understand football. So what I can say is that we are going to blame a lot of people when it comes to Chelsea, but maybe they are going to take time and win the Premier League. But what I can say is that big teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man United, there is no time to build a team. There you come with quality players. You see what is happening now in Manchester City. Man City is like now they are the big team in the Europe because they have money. They go for any player that they want. You saw what they did to Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips was taken from Leeds, but when he came to leave this Man City, club was not able to find a position for him. So if Calvin Phillips can be benched and yet is a good midfielder, what about the other players? So we can say that Man City they have a lot of money. That's why they are winning matches. Because if you don't have Jeremy Doku, then you have Jack Grealish. And if you have them in the bench at the starting, who would you pick? Either Jack Grealish or Jeremy Doku. But Pep Guardiola, one thing I want to say about Pep Guardiola is he is one of the best coaches, and he has one of the best scouts because how he identifies the players is one of the unique ways that coaches don't know. Because I personally tend to believe to ask this question, where did Pep Guardiola took this guy who is Gabriel Jesus? You know, it is the work of Pep Guardiola who took time and went to Brazil and identified this guy. Now he has Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez, nobody knew where is Julian Alvarez for the last 3 years. Julian Alvarez was not even known, but Pep Guardiola identifies quality. Quality. That is why you can tell how a coach is different. That is now the difference you can tell when it comes to football. There's a difference between coaches. There's a difference between players. And Pep Guardiola is one of the best. That is one of the things that I will always say because Pep Guardiola is one of the best coaches that you'll ever see. Again, you know there is always a problem when you face big teams. When you face, for example, Chelsea is missing Manchester United when they are playing, then either the coach, either the players, or the referee will be blamed. We saw what happened, and I have the video for Joker Club after they were defeated by Everton. That is in Premier League. Joker Club complained, and I also saw the captain who is Virgil van Dijk complaining. But I can say that when you're playing, for example, the Manchester Derby is between Liverpool and Everton. They need to be very serious. You need to be very cautious because any mistake you make is going to cost you. You saw how Everton, despite them being on the bottom of the Premier League, they played a very good match, and that is why they are giving a job Joseph a very hard time. Today, Man United is playing against Burnley. You know, Burnley is one of the teams that needs players. I can say Burnley needs players because how are they playing? It's like they don't have the experience. But I don't believe since the departure of Sinduch in Burnley, a lot of things has happened there. Players happened. Chris Wood was there. A lot of players were there. But when Sinduch went, Burnley was relegated, and some of the Premier Leagues tried to absorb the players, good players from Burnley. Now, Company, Vincent Company was the head coach for Burnley. He's having hard time because the kind of players they have there, they don't have experience. That's trying to mobilize them, making sure that these guys play a very good game. And I want to assure you that it takes time to build a team. But when you build a team, you will see results the same way we are seeing how how Arsenal they are playing. They even played against Bayern Munich, and there is a time when Arsenal played against Bayern Munich, and Bayern scored aggregate for 10-2, 10-2. So I think Arteta is doing a good job, and we should always clap for him because he's doing very well when it comes to football and other sorts of sports. Again, there's a problem in Manchester United. I saw how Eric Ten Hag was addressing the press. He was addressing the press very furious, very fuming because how they played against how they played in the last match is very serious. How they played against Coventry City. Coventry was down 3 goals during that semi-final when they had 3 goals, leading 3 goals. But after a time, Coventry scored. So the problem in Manchester United, I want to say, is that maybe it is the coach, but their defense is very poor. Because Aaron Wan-Bissaka is known for those slides, but nowadays you can even not do a tackle. You have the defense of Harry Maguire. Despite the criticism that you have in Harry Maguire, he is pulling a very good performance. He is doing very well. And what I can say is that the problem in Manchester United is not the coach, not the players. The problem is the management. There is always a problem. They have been saying that they have been harassed because how can you even bench coach a good player like Jordan Sancho? Jordan Sancho was in at Old Trafford, but when he came there, he played a very few matches. But after time, coach developed a lot of things. Coach started hating Jordan Sancho, giving press, saying that Sancho disrespect him, saying such Sancho is not even serious in training. But I remember there is a comment that was made by Johnny Mikel at quite a while. He said that when he was in Chelsea, Mikel is a Nigerian footballer, former Nigerian footballer, and also Chelsea footballer. So he was saying that when he was playing, when they were going for the training, Eden Hazard was not going for the training. He was just there. He was playing, but he was not even attending training. But when it comes to matches, that is where you could see how Eden Hazard is playing. And if you believe in your ability, then you have to do and go for it. Jadon Sancho, after returning to Borussia Dortmund, now is scoring goals. He is making sure that they win, and I really believe that Borussia Dortmund is going to make it to finals because I tend to believe they have the best squad. They have the midfielder they are led by the Belgian guy who is Alex Witsel. And after they pulled a very good performance when they were playing against Atletico Madrid, that is the Diego Simeone side. I will feel very good if Borussia Dortmund win the UEFA Champions League. They have high chances. Now we have Real Madrid. Borussia Dortmund. We also have Manchester City that is out. So we have a few teams. We have Bayern Munich is still there. We have Bayern Munich pulling a very good performance. And despite Xavi Alonso's side winning the Bundesliga, Bundesliga has been a farmers league, but Xavi Alonso took over the leadership for the last 2 years. But now he won the league even without a defeat. 45 games undefeated. That is so mad for Xavi Alonso. That is one of the biggest run without a defeat for football in all competition. It's either they draw or they win. They have not lost any game. So I tend to believe that Liverpool is going to compete, but it is going to be a tough time. So Bayern Munich is trying to win this league. That is the UEFA Champions League. When it comes to UEFA, you need to be very serious. That is where experience is applied. Man City, they have the best squad, but when it comes to they have the best squad, but when it comes to UEFA Champions League, that is where we draw the line. But the last time I saw them winning a treble, I have seen comments after yesterday. FIFA said that they are going to finalize on the charges for Man City for the future. When it comes to future, you don't know what is going to happen because when it is future, it may be after 50 years or 100 years. So, despite them being having money, they don't have the experience, and that's why you saw what is happening in Real Madrid. That is experience, led by even Tony Rudiger. That is experience. Carvajal. That is experience. Modric is almost 37 years. We have the Tony Cruz there. We have the best. Real Madrid has the best midfielder. So I tend to believe that it is going to be tough, but I will always say UEFA Champions League is one of the best. So we will wait to see. But my option is those guys win this league because they are the best. They are the best, and they are playing a very good game. Real Madrid, they are very good when it comes to experience and experience. How I saw Man City playing against Real Madrid. That is purely experience. Modric there is playing the midfield with the Tony Cruz, and the Tony Cruz is there playing like he owns the whole team for Manchester City. You don't need to have pressure when you're having UEFA Champions League. Play well, you are relaxed. Don't take time like you are running. Relax. That is the problem. And that is how Real Madrid won with the penalties. But the problem was the defense and also the midfield. But they played a very good game. That is Real Madrid. Congratulations to them. Congratulations again to Atletico Madrid for making it to the semi-finals. We are happy for Diego Simeone. He has been in Real Madrid for the last 10, 12 years. Since 2012, he has been there, Diego Simeone. But you are not lucky. Borussia Dortmund won it. We also have the Paris Saint-Germain, led by Kylian Mbappe. And Luis Enrique is the head coach there. Kylian Mbappe, that is one of the best strikers or wingers we'll ever have because that guy is so flexible. He can play in the defense, midfield, and forward. Mbappe has the stamina to go for the ball and even challenge the midfield or the defense. He's playing a very good game. But despite the problem that in Paris Saint-Germain, with the contract extensions, a lot of money that they want to be paid. I tend to believe that that is the problem that we have with those talents. A talent that can last for long is wasted because of greed for money. When you have greed for money, then definitely you're going to fail. And Mbappe can stay in Paris Saint-Germain. So the problem is how he plays. A lot of teams have attracted attention to signing him. Chelsea, Man United, and the big clubs in Spain. When you say big club, that is where we have PSG. No, we have Barcelona and Real Madrid. But he is close in signing for Real Madrid. We wish him for the best because a lot of players want him for Real Madrid. Jude Bellingham, Eduardo Camavinga, a lot of players want Mbappe for Real Madrid. But what I can say is that when someone is playing with Mbappe, any player, he needs to be very keen. But when he goes to Real Madrid, they need to understand. I tend to see how the defenders and the midfield for PSG are wasting this guy because the guy has a lot of speed. So he does not even need to get collide with players, opponents. You just give him a through pass, and that is all. The guy has a lot of speed. I really love how this guy positions himself. He doesn't want to struggle. He want to relax and go for it. So Mbappe will be joining Real Madrid. We wish him all the best because if he joins there and he pulls great performance like Jude Bellingham, then we'll be happy for him. Barcelona is there was it was playing in UEFA Champions League, but they did not win. They were defeated by PSG. They won in Paris Saint Germain, but when they come to Camp Nou, they were defeated in their own ground. So there is a problem when it comes to Barcelona. There was a concern that Xavi is leaving, but with the time they said Xavi is going to stay. That is the report that was given by Fabrizio Romano in the last 3 days. It's like Xavi is going to be there. There is no room for Xavi leaving. So I believe Xavi is doing a good job, but this is not the Barcelona that we used to know. This is a totally different team that we don't know how they are playing. But despite them having a very good striker, that is Robert Lewandowski. They have the Rafinha, they are doing a good job. They have the Petri, they have De Jong there who got injury. They have a good team, but the Barcelona that we used to know for Andres Iniesta, Barcelona for Carlos Puyol, Barcelona for Lionel Messi, this is not the Barcelona that we have. Remember, this is Africa 24 sports show. Timba La Africa and your host, Bonfet Skimas. You can join wherever you are. You can join this wonderful show and we get to discuss and get to banter each other when it comes to football. And football is one of the best, and the football is very key. And when it comes to football, you have to understand that you get relief when you watch football. Either Manchester United, Chelsea, Manu. You also have some people who support Aston Villa. You are free to support, but it is in football. Dimbal Afrique here we discuss a lot of things. I saw what happened in Italy. I saw Italy, Inter Milan winning the league with a lot of points, and the second position guy there, the AC Milan, they are left with a lot of points. And the team for Inter Milan, I saw them dancing, led by Marko Arnautovic. Marko Arnautovic was playing for West Ham. He went in the Saudi, he went to other leagues, but eventually he landed to Inter Milan. Inter Milan pulled a great performance. They have the best strikers there, Lautaro Martinez. Lautaro Martinez won the World Cup with Argentina. They also have a good striker there for France, who is Marcus Thuram. So they won the Inter Milan. Inter Milan won the league for Italy, and that is why we say Premier League is very different from other leagues. Now, as we talk, Bayern Munich is the second position team there in Bundesliga, but the league has already been taken by Bayern Leverkusen. So with 5 or 7 games remaining, that shows how the league is very simple and how players there don't even trust their team. Because how come the league ends when we have 5 or 10 games? It's like you tend to believe that if it is not for Barcelona, it's for PSG. It is not PSG, it is for Juventus. But now Juventus, since Ronaldo left, it has been having a lot of problems. They ended the deduction from FIFA. And again, the charges were there. They have players getting out of contract. Some now they are there, but the Juventus we used to know, it is not the Juventus that we have. But I tend to say when you see leagues, for example, Bundesliga ending with the 32nd game, that shows how strong. That shows how strong the Premier League is. That shows how strong players in the EPL plays, and that is how the league should be. Because if our league ends with the 5 games in hand, so what is that? The other games we are going to play, then we are not serious. We are not going to play while we are serious because now the league is over. So Bayern Munich, despite losing now, they are focusing with the UEFA Champions League. I believe they are going to win, but my support will always be in Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund, they are going to win this uh, UEFA Champions League. This is Dimba Al Africa and your host today, Boniface Kimanzi. Make sure you always have us here because it is here that you're going to get informed and know all things that entails when it comes to football and sports. Again, I saw the problem that we have in Chelsea. People are saying that Chelsea, the problem is Mauricio Pochettino. Some are saying it is Nicolas Jackson. Others are saying it is the midfield defense. But personally, I tend to believe the main problem that we have in Chelsea is Todd Bowley. You know, Todd Bowley is the head. He is the manager of Chelsea now. But again, Todd Bowley, he is more of profit oriented. That guy is profit oriented. That is the problem. He is not concerned with matters again, matters on football. Because if you are the owner and you see how things are happening, then you need to act. But he's trying to keep Mauricio Pochettino up there. We are not winning games. Chelsea is not winning any trophy. Again, they are struggling. But Mauricio, Todd Bowley is more profit oriented. He came there, he sold all experienced players. He left only Diaco Silva, Rhys James, and Ben Chilwell. All other players like Jorginho, like Kayava, like Tony Rudiger, like Aspilicueta. The players left because there was no support. They didn't want to extend the contract, and those are were the good players that even gave us UEFA Champions League. That was 2021 when we had Thomas Tuchel. When he came there, he sacked even Thomas Tuchel, and he was one of the best coaches that we shall ever have. So I tend to believe the problem in Chelsea is the coach and the management. The players are good, but we saw Enzo Fernandez he got injury, so he will be missing all the matches that we have in this season. But when you see the midfield for Chelsea, made by Calcedo, Moses Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez, we have the machine there, Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher has been playing a very good game, and he has been pulling attention from all other teams. We saw Tottenham, that is Anke Postecoglou, they want to sign Conor Gallagher, but the Chelsea management they tried to talk with him and they want to retain him. But what I can say is that if we don't have Cole Palmer, if Chelsea does not have Cole Palmer, if Chelsea does not have if Chelsea does not have a Conor Gallagher, then that is zero. Because we saw Chelsea playing against Arsenal, they were not having Cole Palmer, and that is where Arsenal scored 5 goals. I saw the celebration, and I saw how Chelsea was playing. But the problem with the Chelsea, I say this is the coach which is giving problem. But we will try to bounce back. The players is like they don't play for the bunch. They are playing for pleasure, and that is one of the problems that we'll ever face. If you have a player who doesn't understand what does this bunch mean, I personally like how Ronaldo plays for the national team. Ronaldo, when he's playing for Belgium, he always trusts and believes that you can win everything with Portugal. But when your players who don't recognize bunches, they play after Arsenal scored 4 goals. I saw how Chelsea was playing, and it's like they gave up with the Premier League. They gave up with the match, and they were like, the referee should even finish this game, and we want to go home. We want to go home for the kids. But the problem with the Chelsea is the coach, because the defense there. How can you leave out Diego Silva and play Benoit Badiashile with Gilchrist, Alfred Gilchrist, and you are playing against Arsenal, a team that has a lot of tiki taka, a team that dribbles, led by Martin Odegaard. You know, Odegaard is there, is playing a very good game. We have the midfield there with Declan Rice, and the defense led by the France international, that is William Saliba. They are playing a very good game, but when you're playing against Arsenal and you give that kind of lineup, then the problem will always be. So I will say the problem with the Chelsea is the coach, because giving Badeshil and other players who don't even know how to play football, then that was a mess. But again, I think Chelsea will be back and they will play a very good game. But fans, I can hear how and can see how social media the bully is taking place, because people don't joke with their team losing, especially when you lose against Arsenal in favor of Arsenal 5 goals. Then what is the problem? What can we say? What is the direction that we are taking? So I tend to believe the Chelsea will be. Again, I can see the competition between Premier League. You know, Arteta wants to win the Premier League now for the first time since 2003. They have been in a drought of winning this EPL, but now Man City, after snatching, you know, Man City snatched. Man City after snatching this, Man City after snatching this Real Madrid for the last UEFA Champions League. Now they have Manchester City playing against Arsenal. But what I can say is that it's going to be tough. You know, it's going to be tough. It is not going to be easy for Jurgen Klopp and also Arteta and also Pep Guardiola. Those three teams, I think they will be to the title for the Premier League. I want to welcome Vincent there. He's one of the best Chelsea fans, so that he can join the Dimbal Afrik. Welcome, Vincent, to Dimbal Afrik. And yeah, it is where we discuss matters when it concerns football. Welcome. You can say something as we start, as we continue with the show.
Bari yako.
Mzima mzima.
Yeah, how are you, bwana? I didn't know you had this show today, so I kind of was waiting for match weekend. We call it a match weekend. It's a busy weekend for those of us who love sport, and especially me who tries and watch as many games as possible. So let me take this opportunity to greet our viewers and our followers and everybody who has joined the Dimba. Let's talk about football today. Let's discuss. Let's try to analyze what's the problem at the EPL, because it's turning to be a farmers league now, and I'm surprised and I'm wondering, are we going the Bundesliga way? Are we going the Serie A way? Because this league is becoming more and more boring as Man City is trying to monopolize the league. So we are going to talk about a lot of things, and I hope in the next 1 hour or so we are going to try and bring it
Vincent,
to closure.
we are asking who is going to win the Premier League, because you know the Arsenal is there. They smashed 5 goals, and now they are there. They have the current, they have the ability, but we have Pep
Hmm.
Guardiola there. You know, when it is towards the end of the league, Pep Guardiola does not even make mistake. So Liverpool is like they are now down. They don't have the hopes to
No.
win the Premier League because they was smashed by Everton. But you know that one was Merseyside derby. But Jurgen Klopp being in Premier League for that long, since 2015, it's like he has never realized that Merseyside derby is one of the tough derbies that we have. But he went there like jokes and he collected 2 goals. So, what is your take? Who is going to win the Premier League and
Bonnie,
why?
Bonnie, you remember what I told you last time when I was in the show? If you can remember so well, I told you something that I came to pass. First of all, I spoke about the Champions League, and I told you if I were the Arsenal coach, that's what I said, and we can go back to that video someday and try to review what I said about my predictions that day. I told you that if I were the coach of Arsenal, I will stop all the ambitions that I have in the UCL. Because what the fans are missing most is not the UCL. What the fans are missing most is the Champions League for the last almost 30 years now. You see, they're heading to 30 years, almost in my entire I think from age 5 until now, I've never seen Arsenal carry EPL trophy. I said here that if I were Arteta, I could not focus on Bayern Munich because Bayern Munich was just meant to destroy them, and it was a matter of time that they will be destroyed. And I told you that there was nowhere Arsenal was going in the Champions League because if they were to beat Arsenal, maybe they could have faced Man City or Real Madrid, and you saw what happened to Real Madrid. So when I tell you that Man City and Arsenal in the Champions League, if they were to meet, for example, if they were to meet, it could have been something that you are disappearing, my brother, and I'm wondering.
No, continue.
Yeah. So as I was saying, Arsenal in the Champions League, the dreams were already shattered. And I told you here that if they continue concentrating on Champions League, they are going to lose both trophies. And that is exactly what happened. And that's exactly what is going to happen because Man City is clearly not having any other thing that they are competing for this season because Guardiola wanted to break that wanasemanga ile curse ama alikuwa anataka kujoin league ya watu wakubwa. Man City has only one Champions League trophy and now they wanted a second one. But again, Real Madrid came with the experience that they have and they shattered the dreams of Man City. And now Man City are remaining with only one trophy. Achana na FA. They are remaining with only one trophy because FA they had it last year also. So that's more of their trophy now, and we don't care much about that. So what I think is that Arsenal bottled the league when they lost to, I don't know, was it Aston Villa or what? When they were beaten and
Unai Emery.
yeah, when Unai Emery shattered their dreams. And I think tomorrow is not going to be easy for Arteta because as it has become a trend nowadays, nobody has a problem with Man City winning the league. If you watch the game of Everton versus Liverpool, you realize that even Everton was trying to fight as much as possible to make sure that Liverpool does not win the league. And you're seeing what West Ham is doing now. West Ham already scored a goal against Liverpool. That shows that every team is fighting so hard so that they kill these other teams from winning the league because Man City has no rival. There's no team that cares whether Man City does not win the league or wins the league. There's no team that has a problem with Man City winning the league. It's like a neutral team winning the league now. It's like we have created some I don't know, tumewaunda wakakuwa wale kama kuna option we go for Man City, like if there is no option we go for Man City.
Give up other teams
give up. The league, Man City has won almost 6, is it 6 or 5 or 6 6 leagues
4
in the last 8 years. In the last 4 years,
in the last 4 season wamewin 4 zikifuatana, 4 Premier League zikifuatana.
So it has been turned as a farmers league. It's what Bayern used to do in Bundesliga. That's why people even stopped watching Bundesliga. So it was boring, and now that's what is going to happen to Premier League because again of poor match officiating. I can tell you when I watched that game of Brighton and Man City, there was very poor and poorest match officiating from the referee side.
Now, do you expect Brighton to defeat Man City?
No, that's not the problem. Even if they were to be beaten, let it be a fair game. Let the referees do their job because Man City, yes, is a big team. Real Madrid could not even manage to get two corners, two corners against Man City. So that means that Brighton was a weak team to Man City. But why officiate poorly when as a referee in such kind of a big game? It means that everybody is trying to give Man City this league so that Arsenal does not win. And I could have loved to see Arsenal win the league so that they break that monotony of one team winning a league consecutively. It's rendering the Premier League useless. And you know what the Premier League did to us when we were in campus. It was one of our best thing we used to do over the weekend. We could have a very boring week through Monday to Friday, but when it comes to weekend, we get something to do. At least everybody's busy trying to celebrate something. Nowadays, you don't even go watch the matches. I can tell you last week kulikuwa na ile mnaitanga El Clasico, but I can tell you 90% of Kenyans didn't even care about that match anymore because why? The La Liga also was killed when the best players in La Liga were transferred and Real became ilivunja bank ikaanza inanunua kila mtu. It wants to also destroy La Liga and stuff. So I tell you, Bonnie, this league has already gone to Man City. We like it or not, because Tottenham is going to fight tooth and nail tomorrow to make sure that Arsenal does not get a point. That's what they are going to do, and that's exactly what Manchester United is going to do. And maybe I can ask you and our viewers, who is the rival of Man City? Who rivals Man City? Who cares whether Man City does not win the league? But when it comes to Chelsea and Man U and Arsenal and Liverpool, everybody does not want them to win the league. Nobody wants, even that small thing that has been brought up from the relegation side. They will fight tooth and nail to make sure Chelsea does not even get up for. They will fight tooth and nail to make sure that Arsenal does not win the league. That's what is going to happen to Arsenal. And every Arsenal fan right now should accept the fact that no matter the points they have now, they are going to lose two games ahead. And those two games, they are not going to lose them because of their choice. They're going to lose those games because those two teams that are going to play against them will fight tooth and nail to make sure that Arsenal does not finish at the top. Why? Because they know the magnitude of Arsenal fans celebrating the league, and they know the magnitude of their fans not beating Arsenal. So those kind of things are the reason why we watch the Premier League. But when you see Man City, people letting Man City win freely, and the referees making silly mistakes, silly and open mistakes. Your mic is muted, Bonnie. I cannot hear you.
But they say when you have money, everything can be simple. You saw the charges that Man City had. They had 115 charges, but yesterday I saw what Fabrizio Romano posted in the Instagram and also Twitter, like the hearing for Manchester City charges will take place in the future. So in the future may take 150 years or 300 years. It's like that one is going to get simped in the deep holes. So teams like Everton, they got deducted 10 points, and now they are also being affected by the charges. But Manchester City, with 115 charges, then they are there and they don't even get those banned. That is money.
Let me
So if you have money, you
let
can
me
even pay the referee and also the teams.
let me
You can
remind
also
you.
pay.
Let me remind you that Chelsea is one of the teams that has had money over the last 2 decades or so. And I'll tell you one thing I've learned about UK is that there's a lot of politics in football, and Chelsea has always been the enemy. And we as Chelsea fans might not see what I'm saying, but as a person who also has a very, very big interest in politics, we understand what happened to Chelsea when the Russia and Ukraine war began, and everybody was fighting the ownership of Chelsea left, right, center, and since then their dreams of killing Chelsea succeeded. That's what they wanted. They wanted to kill Chelsea, and they did it perfectly, and they did it perfect and square. So Chelsea has had money all over the year, and right now, in fact, we have a lot of money. Right now, in fact, we have a team of ownership that doesn't care how much we spend on buying players. They doesn't care how much they pay their players. Those are real businessmen. But buying a referee in the Premier League, the biggest league in the world, not even World Cup can match that trophy. I know World Cup is a big trophy because it's watched worldwide, but you know the Premier League will always be there. World Cup comes once in 4 years. So if you can see referees being bought in such kind of a game, man, you are left wondering what will happen to our country, especially even in Kenya, if the UK that we think is disciplined and there is no corruption in football, they're buying referees. What will happen to my
No,
my
no.
small
I
Shabana
want to,
leaders?
Vincent. I want to tell you. You know, I want you to go and do some research with the UK government. I know you are a politician and you understand all those things. I've been following what is happening in the United Kingdom, and I have a friend there. And in UK, that is one of the countries that you should never even try to imagine it being there, because that is one of the bad countries. Country with tribalism, racism, and also people there, they don't recognize each other. You are there unless you are British. That is how they recognize you. So
You
I tend
know,
to believe that UK has the best corruption cases we have. Racism, the government there doesn't care.
yeah, that's why I'm telling you. The kind of politics that ile siasa walimfanyia our best owner Roman Abramovich, that that was politics that has betrayed football, and we will never recover from that. Losing that man who had passion in football, a man who made sure that all the areas that Chelsea had were cleared in time. The checkbooks of Chelsea were balanced. And you know, in UK, football runs the economy of the UK. So he made sure that he contributed positively to the economy of the UK. But what happened to those people in government? Those people in government care much about the politics. They care much about what the Security Council says. I will not call them racists because we know what they did to our forefathers here in Kenya when they were colonizing us. They killed our forefathers. They stole our land. They did all sort of things. I can't speak anything that will change the fact that I hate those people. But I don't want to also send hate remarks to our brothers in the UK because the people are not the problem. The problems is the government, and the government even here in Africa. The problem in running government, and
I
that's
think
why
UK
football.
they have monarchical. They have monarchy.
Yeah, but monarchy is not the problem, and I'll tell you why. Monarchy is not the problem because football has been in the UK since 1890 something, when the likes of Manchester United were discovered. Our own Chelsea was discovered in 19 something, 1903 or what, something like 1903. So
18,
this
18.
football has been there. You see, football has been there, but the change in leadership, it has the world has created greedy politicians. The world has created hate people who hate each other, and that's why you said here that the racists, and those people that are corrupt in the UK were not there in the past, because we have created a conundrum of people whose interest is to steal money and to make sure that they do business. Wanataka kutengeneza ile pesa tunaitanga ya haraka. They are selling matches, they are fixing matches, they are buying referees, they are even buying goalkeepers nowadays, because the goalkeeper is the easiest person to make the goals go through. Those are the kind of people that are being bought. In fact, if you watch the game we played last, the game we lost, game Arsenal. Me, I don't feel that game, your game, that was purely fixed. That match
No,
was fixed. Let me tell
no,
you
no,
why.
no, no,
Let me tell
no.
you why.
Why? Because
Those were
I watched the full 90 minutes. What
no
is the
problem.
problem when Chelsea was playing?
I watched the game also, and I'm not saying that we could not have been beaten 5-0, but that big win was meant to, first of all, kufunika the fact that we have lost so by a very big margin. We played a very very good game. In fact, if you could Atakama, we had a very poor finishing. We played a good game, but when it came to us being attacked, we didn't even defend. My friend, we didn't
No,
defend. That was very
my
terrible
friend,
defending.
did you saw Arsenal scoring a goal in 40 seconds
Yes, I saw
after the
that.
start of the?
Yes, I don't have a problem with that. That's what I'm telling you. When you fix a game, you make it appear real. Have you ever had a chance to buy a fixed match? I bought a fixed
Okay.
match when I was at
Uh,
Seku. I bought a
I
fixed
want
match of nilinunua
I
fixed
want to
match yenye
hear.
ilikuwa imesema. Let me tell you how it works. When someone wants to fix a match, they don't fix by saying that you will score 5 goals. That's not fixing. You cannot fix 5 goals because this other team who might win a penalty. You cannot fix a game by saying the correct score. They fix a match by saying, like, there's that combo. There's that combo that you usually see. Number one, wanaeka the number of yellow cards that are going to be given in that match. No. They go to the number of goals. They use over. They don't say a certain specific number of goals. They say over point something. So those are two combos. They come to who will score. That's why sometimes you see people being given penalties that are not even penalties, so that they make sure they get that person to score the goals. Another thing, how to fix that match again, is to make sure that the number of yellow cards. Have I said about that? Yellow cards. That's one of the best. That's the best. Nowadays, people are betting on yellow cards, and you see referees dishing yellow cards left, right, center without giving people red cards. That's how they fix these matches. They fix matches by creating a combo order that is almost 20. When you
So you
combine
believe
those
Chelsea match was fixed?
that Chelsea match, that match between Chelsea and Arsenal was a match that was meant to even neutralize the fact that like, if, for example, let me use a scenario: Shabana and Gor Mahia, and maybe there's a team from Luo Nyanza, maybe Gor Youth. If Gor Mahia is lacking maybe 2 points for them to win a game, to win the league, and they have Migori as a game in hand, they'll make sure that this Migori game is to their benefit and to the benefit of the losing team. That's why you see, for example, Chelsea is now competing for nothing. We're even rushing for top 7. I think top 7. We are having nothing we are chasing right now. And Arsenal is our core. Let me say, is our core team in London, not London. But that does not mean that that's the reason why they fixed the match. That is one of the reasons why we should look at this match from the inner lens and see the politics in that game. Let's see the politics in that match. In the first half, we considered only 1 goal. You see, only 1 goal. But in the second half, we considered 4 goals from the 75th minute.
But the problem was the defense.
No, that's where you fix. When you see a flow, Silva and this guy Chaloba were fit.
But Silva came in the second half, but Yashil was there.
That's what I'm saying. When you see Silva and Chaloba being left out deliberately, that was a deliberate move to leave those 2 guys outside. And I will say that without fear of contradiction. Silva was fit, Chaloba was fit, they were left out. That's the problem I have. And I will tell you why those people were left out. It's because it's easy. And you've seen the flaws that this guy has had over the years. This guy, Badiashile, since he got injured last season, it's not been Badiashile that we signed from Monaco. Badiashile has been allowing people score goals left, right, and center. He's been allowing blunders. You saw that blunder that he did. I don't know. He was with Silva, and Silva left the ball for him to clear to the goalkeeper. But again, what happened? He left. I can't remember the exact game, but I was so mad at that game until I said Badiashile should never play for Chelsea ever again. So you have a two blunders, Badiashile and Disasi. Unawaacha peke yao wacheze huko, alafu on your right unaweka this Gilchrist guy, you see, and you expect that team to defend against Arsenal. That's how you fix a match. You weaken the points that will lead to goals. That's how you fix a match. You don't have to buy the match, but you never see the deal.
Do you think this is a derby? These 2 guys come from London, but again, these 2 teams always have been rivals, but not that much. But winning 5 goals against Chelsea, do you think that one was a big shame to Chelsea?
That was humiliating, my friend. I was traveling from Nairobi, by the way, from Nakuru, and I was listening to the game in on my phone, and the first half. When we considered the first goal is when I was arriving in town, and I said instead of me rushing to the house to change and then go back to watch a game, let me just sit and watch so that after the game I go to the house. My friend, when we considered the second goal and I saw Kai Havertz celebrate, I felt so bad that was even
I was
embarrassing.
so hurt, by the way. I so hurt by
No,
how
you don't
Kayava
celebrate. Okay,
celebrated.
that that was unprofessional. That was unprofessional. Having that way, Chelsea fans does not boo. They don't boo Kai Havertz the way they boo Mount. So Kai Havertz decided to show us the middle finger, which is not bad. That's why I don't even want Arsenal to win that league anymore. But that's not the problem. I felt embarrassed because everybody in town was expecting Chelsea to win the game. Everybody, in fact, literally everyone. When the game ended 5-0, the town was silent. The country was silent. Everybody was expecting Chelsea to defeat Arsenal. And everybody banked on Chelsea. And when we conceded 5 goals, the fans were even hurt more than we, the Chelsea fans. Everybody was hurt, especially the Manchester United fans. They were very, very hurt because they were expecting that we control that noise of Arsenal. But I thank God that the Arsenal fans are also scared that they might not even get close to they might be defeated the league by 1 point, which is very humiliating and embarrassing because I'm telling you, and I hope when next season begins, we are going to see a change, and Chelsea might come back stronger. I hope so. But we need to also have a generational change in the coach. We need to change the bench, not necessarily the coach. We need to change the bench and the technical team that makes the fitness our fitness team. That is the problem we have in Chelsea, and you saw what happened to Hazard at Real Madrid. The technical bench, once the technical bench fails, you've seen how Arsenal have played all season. They are fit. Their players have just get few months out and they are back to playing at their best. Our technical bench seems to be reluctant and at peace. Wamelala, kazi yao ni kupewa pesa mshahara at the end of the month wanaenda. The players are not fit. Nkunku, who we had high hopes for, is not even played a game. But the 2 games he's played, he's scored in both of them. That shows that guy is a quality player. If that guy was to have a chance to play alongside Palmer and Reece James and Thiago Silva, who we are going to lose next season, we could be fighting for top 3 now. But now what happened to Chelsea? Everybody's injured. Literally everyone is injured. Right now, our best right back that we've been hoping to build, Malo Gusto, is injured. I don't know how to even say that because I feel sorry
Okay,
for Chelsea.
we leave it there. We know Chelsea has a lot of problems, but we cannot even try to make them get known today because either the defense, match fixing,
Yes,
either the coach,
Aston
either
Villa.
the management, they have a big problem. But we will
Aston Villa
always
is
say that they should always play for the bunch. But if it was by any chance that they did match fixing against Arsenal, that one I will never forget because what I saw that day was totally humiliation because
humiliating, man.
the second goal that was scored by Kai Havertz. Actually, I saw the defense. I saw Kai Havertz, and he's one of the weakest players that you should ever meet. He had three players. The defense of Chelsea were there, but again, he scored. Goalkeeper was just jumping up and down. Dejan Petrovic. So what I can say is that if they did match fixing during that game for Arsenal, then that one I will never forget because Arsenal winning 5 goals against us, yet we pulled a very great performance when we were in their in our land, that is Stamford Bridge. First leg, we scored the goals, but again, despite what happened, the coach did a very sticky mistake, and that is where they scored 2 late goals. But I will say, if there is a problem, then the fans are the ones who are suffering because I've been following what is happening in social media. I saw the post that was uploaded by the admin. The post for Chelsea losing 5 goals. Actually, the post was even uploaded in 40 seconds, and the comment section there was almost eating 30K in 40 seconds. That shows how pressure the fans are having. The fans are the ones who are suffering. So I will say that If they did that match fixing, then that is a big problem, and we will never recover from that, despite what happened. And we are still the champions of Europe. We have won. I saw the fans carrying that UCL trophy to show to Arsenal fans, and that
You know,
was amazing for Arsenal. And they are sure they are going to they are going home trophyless, and I think they are going to celebrate that one. I saw Mikel Arteta celebrating like he has won the World Cup after winning the match against Chelsea. But again, that is game, and we are
you
here
know
in
beating
Kenya. But
wewe unajua kupiga Chelsea inamaanisha nini wewe? You know beating Chelsea beating Chelsea is like winning the world, because number one, that game is watched by billions of people in the world. People watch this game. You know, Chelsea might be underestimated as people say, but you know the kind of fans that Chelsea has now are those fans who were there, who were young in 2001 until 2020. Those people who watched Chelsea in 2001 and 2020, those are the fans of Chelsea now. You cannot separate them from Chelsea. That's why Nigeria, Ghana, and these West African countries and Senegal, those countries have fans fully backing Chelsea. In Europe, Chelsea has created a very big name, because in the last 2 decades, there's no team, not even Manchester United. In the last 2 decades, Chelsea has been the most successful team, until Man City has come to even turn this league to be a farmers league. Chelsea has been commanding the trophies. Chelsea has been having one of the best players in the Premier League. In fact, Drogba, Eden Hazard, Frank Lampard, those 3 names, when you mention them, I feel hurt, because those are the kind of people that played for Chelsea and played passionately for Chelsea, and they make sure they won for Chelsea. The same way Thiago Silva right now has fought for Chelsea like it's his childhood club. You see, so these teams playing against Chelsea sometimes is a very big achievement, because they get that. Those are the kind of games that wanapatanga the enough resources, because their away fans will always fill the stadium. That's the same thing that happens with Manchester United. Chelsea and Manchester United are the teams that run the Premier League. That's why you see, hata kama sometimes sisi tunakuwa na rivalry, those are the 2 teams that when they play, everybody is tuned to watch the game. Everybody was you saw what happened when we beat Manchester United. Everybody in the world was celebrating. Like there were videos I saw. Your mic is muted.
I celebrated actually, and I up to today I always remind them that we won against Manchester.
Yeah,
that's what human beings forget.
Bonnie, let me take you back to 2021 when we were almost finishing campus, and you remember what happened when we were at CJ celebrating the win against Man City. That thing
I lost the videos, bwana. Nilipoteza hizo videos, bwana.
I have them. I have some of them. Those videos reminds us of what we did to Manchester United the other day. The fans were doing exact thing. I saw videos from around 6 campuses in Kenya, KU, JKUAT, and other campuses celebrating in the roads, not wearing shirts. That is football for us. And when Manchester United and Chelsea are struggling, the Premier League is suffering. Even the enough airtime that they get, it goes down by even half. But when Chelsea and Man U are playing in the Champions League, you know, when Chelsea will return to the Champions League, you will tell me this, because nowadays the Champions League does not even get spoken of. Right now, we don't even care who wins the Champions League anymore. We don't care, because Manchester United is out, Man City is out, Arsenal is out. No, I'm not even going to watch the finals. I'm waiting for Euros so that I can see what Southgate is going to do. In fact, we should talk about the Euros after maybe the next topic. We can talk about the Euros a bit, because I feel like the Euros is going to be also another problem for England. England has had such kind of problem.
Yeah, so, I tend to believe that we'll talk about Euros. Yeah? We'll talk about Euros, but now, you know, the race for titles, it is one of the things that we are focusing on, because there is a competition there.
The title is gone.
Farmers League.
The title is gone, man. Kikombe imeenda hii. Every team is going to make sure Man City wins. Every team is going to make sure Man City wins. Man City is winning it.
Okay, that is your
no, I've told you why. Nimekuambia we saw from the Brighton game. Mimi nilimaliza game ya Brighton first half. I watched that game and I was like, this league imekuwa farmers league. Everybody is supporting Man City to win the league. Even the players of Brighton did not play to their best. But imagine when the Brighton team is playing against Man U, when the Brighton team is playing against Chelsea, they will fight tooth and nail to make sure that Chelsea does not go nowhere. But when they are playing Man City, they even relax. They concede goals and they lose hope. But for us, Sheffield United will even turn into Barcelona.
You saw Chelsea drawing with the Sheffield and even
yes,
Burnley.
The Burnley team turned into prime Barcelona. You saw after we scored 2 goals against Sheffield turned into prime Barcelona. They were playing like tiki-taka that Guardiola taught Barcelona. That's one thing I'm telling you. Nobody cares if Man City is not winning anything. And see the remaining 5 games of Man City. They're going to be those teams very bad. Anybody who has Man City in their next game should prepare to suffer. What I'm praying for Chelsea is that as Cole Palmer is back, let's get so many penalties. Let's get so many goals. I want us to win the top scorer. That is a very big achievement for Chelsea, because it's been long since we celebrated that thing since Drogba. Since Drogba, we've never seen that thing in Chelsea. We've never seen anybody
we
win
saw,
the top scorer.
I remember 2018, 2019.
Top scorer?
Yeah.
Top scorer? No, he did not win. Eden Hazard? Hapana. Never. Hazard got 20 goals, man. Hazard got 20 goals, never. We never won the top scorer. Hazard has been winning the PFA Player of the Season. Hazard has been winning the Team of the Year, whatever, but he's never won we've never won the top scorer, whatever. Other Man U. Look at Man U since Van Persie. They've never won it. Since Van Persie left there, they've never won it.
Mohamed Salah has been dominated.
Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Man City now, I think they have won it twice. And kuna mwingine pia ameshinda timu ndogo, Vardy ama nani? Vardy won in 2016. You see? Yeah. It's been Hurricane, Kuna Aguero. Like, it's been something that. So I think that's the best trophy you're going to get this season, and we should all align ourselves behind Cole Palmer until we win it.
Yeah, the guy is good. But I tend to believe that the problem is the coach. Sometimes the coach misplaces those guys, and again, it gives them a poor position. What about Jackson? Jackson has been there and has been one of the biggest nightmares in Chelsea. Fans are complaining. Do you think that guy will pull performance for the next 3 years?
Jackson is better than every striker we've signed since Diego Costa. I'll tell you that without blinking an eye. That guy is better than the guys. Morata was better than Jackson.
Alvaro Morata, did you saw the goal that he scored against Manchester United in the year 20?
Let me remind you that Alvaro Morata was playing against the best. Was playing in the middle of the best players: Eden Hazard, Willian, Pedro, Fabregas, Azpilicueta, David Luiz, Alonso, my friend Kante. You're playing in the middle of those players, and you're giving such kind of a poor performance, my friend. I don't think you should speak anything about Morata here.
Why do you support Jackson?
No, I'm not supporting Jackson. I'm saying this. This guy has come. He's young, of course. He's very, very young. He's 21 years of age.
We don't recognize that. What is young to the fans?
Relax, my friend. Let me tell you.
You know the game that we were defeated by Man City. So I want to hear why you are supporting Jackson, because
one thing Jackson does best. I don't understand his football terms, but there's one thing that Jackson does better than these strikers that we've signed. Jackson is someone who can hold play, who can hold into the play until someone gets to take the pass from him. He tries as much as possible to hold longer, and he knows how to position himself. Even if sometimes he misses these chances, we can't lay the blame on that, because he's scored how many goals? this
No,
season?
I think he has scored 10 goals. 10.
11. Yeah, he had his 11 goals, isn't it? 11 goals for your first season. And no, in fact, he has 13 goals. He has
13
13
goals.
goals. I don't know in total, compared in all trophies, in all competition. But when he was in a Villarreal, he managed to score 15 goals in the whole season. So this is his first season in England. He's playing with a very young team. He's playing with a very, very worst Chelsea team ever. But he's managed to
Our,
secure 13 goals. You see that? What was the best season for Kai Havertz? What was the best season?
no, he was
Lukaku.
he.
Lukaku. What was the best season for Lukaku? I guess 11 or 9 goals or 11. I don't know. Morata never even got to 12. You
Morata
see?
scored important goals the same way Trossard scores.
Hapana bwana. Acha hiyo. I know the game for I was so angry at Jackson the last time he had two counter attacks and he gave the ball to the keeper. I hated that, but I know Jackson is a determined player. The only problem we have with Chelsea right now is the motivation. We don't have that motivation that we used to have. We don't have that fighting spirit. The player that kind of brings the fighting spirit at Chelsea is Cole Palmer. That's why when Cole Palmer is
Bro,
around, we tend to be
bro,
organized.
what is the
And
problem? What is the problem in Chelsea? Because I tend to believe that we have the best midfielders. Because we have Enzo Fernandez there, we have Moses Caicedo and the Conor Gallagher. Those guys are so
I
perfect
think
when it comes to
we are just lacking that
midfield.
winning mentality. We are lacking that winning
No, no, the
mentality from the
striker, the
management.
striker, the
Yeah,
striker.
from
You
the
know, I
management.
watched the game
No,
between FS
no,
and
no, no.
finals.
We are lacking the winning
Bro, we
mentality
could have won that game for 4 goals.
Sikia kwanza nikwambie bwana. We are lacking that winning mentality from the owners of the club. We are lacking the winning mentality from the management, which is the technical bench, and from the players themselves.
No, the problem is the coach.
We can't be exchanging coach like there's no
No,
other there's no
how,
better coach remaining
how
in
come
Chelsea
you
than
have
in
the
the
coach?
world.
How come you are the coach, but the kind of lineup you are giving is one of the pathetic things I've ever seen in football. Even
You
if we
know
have the match
you know what
fixing.
you know what I care about mostly in this Premier League nowadays. Have we beaten Manchester United? If the coach, we've never beaten Manchester United in the last 5 seasons. You see, 4 seasons
Since
in fact.
2017.
We've never beaten Man City since we beat them in 2021. So again, Arsenal is becoming a problem for us because we've beaten them once, I think, since 2019, I think 2020. So it's becoming something that if we can manage to win against these big teams, we can now start organizing ourselves and start beating these small teams. Because angalia game zote tumelose this season against Sheffield, Burnley, sijui Bournemouth, sijui nani. Those small teams that we are not supposed to be losing against. But we've drawn against Man City 4-4. We have beaten Manchester United 4-3. We've almost beaten Arsenal 2-0. I don't know where those 2 goals came from. We almost drew with Liverpool. You remember that I don't know 1-1 that we started with the season where Disasi scored a very, very good goal. So Chelsea against big teams we try and push so well, but when it came to Arsenal, that's why I'm telling you that game I don't trust whatever happened there. Even if Arsenal was very organized, I can talk about Manchester United. I can talk about Manchester United because I also know Manchester United. Manchester United is also lacking that team spirit that it used to have, that fighting spirit that used to happen in the team. We used to have these players who had this winning mentality. You can't compare the Manchester United that is playing now to the Manchester United that was playing during the era of Nani, the era of who is this striker, Rooney, the era of Rio Ferdinand. Those guys knew what winning meant. But nowadays, Rashford is busy in social media. The players have become socialites. You see the kind of things that Anthony does when he's playing. He's looking for media attention. He's looking for funny videos for TikTok. Like those are the kind of things that we are having right now in the Premier. And I like the fact that the Chelsea management managed to sweep the likes of Hudson Odoi, and whose job was to just cloud chase with Chelsea. Like they are, in fact, there's one player I will leave to hate for Chelsea, and I'll not. I want my new fans to also hate him. Mount. Mount is one of the players that I think has demonstrated that there's nothing like professionalism in football. There's nothing like my Chelsea, my boyhood club. There's nothing like that. The people are not even fighting for their boyhood clubs that they supported. That's why you see when an African gets to Europe, they kind of try to shine because Drogba and Sadio Mane and Yaya Toure and these kind of players, they helped us set a standard that African players should play at the maximum, so that for you to get the first 11, make to first 11, you have to display a very good game. That's what has happened. You see how Africans spend numerous times in the bench, and Jackson has tried really much to get first 11. So I think football as I said, inaenda kuharibika, and when European football especially the EPL ikiharibika, we are done, Boni. I tell you, we are done. I don't know where we will go. Our weekends will start getting boring. No, our weekends will start getting boring without like, man, hata sielewi. I feel like crying when I remember,
So,
and I remember
thank
Chelsea.
you.
Ngoja Boni nikwambie.
Now,
I feel like crying when I remember Chelsea won the Champions League 2 years ago, man. Like, this is not Chelsea, man. This
no,
is not
relax.
Manchester
We have
United.
a lot of things to do. Not Chelsea, man. Chelsea is doing nothing. Chelsea doing nothing. And as Drogba said, that we no longer recognize the club until we get the new management. That is the fun thing. So, what about Inter Milan? Inter Milan won the Serie A with 7 goals. We also have seen Leverkusen, Xavi Alonso pulling a very great performance. 45 games unbeaten. They have won the league. We also have Spain, where we have Real Madrid now. They are pulling a very great performance. They are leading, and it's like they will win this La Liga. What about those competitions? How do you rate them with Premier League? Because I tend to
Boni,
believe now Premier League we are competing to see who is going to win, and yet some leagues are now over. They are just playing for fun.
that's the difference between EPL and other leagues. Because in those leagues, as I said before, those are farmers leagues, and nobody cares much about what happens in Bundesliga. Nobody cares much about what happens in Serie A. Nobody cares much about what happens in La Liga anymore, because those leagues have turned into fixed. Those games that you find that are fixed. Ukitaka kupata fixed match enda Serie A, you will find 2 fixed matches, maybe Toulouse and some other club. That's what has happened to those clubs in Serie A. So I think Inter Milan won the Champions League recently. Yeah? And they have a very good team, and they have a very good attacking, and people thought that it was Lukaku that was the binding factor, but you are shocked, my brother. Inter Milan can do without him, and they have demonstrated that so well. So I congratulate them for winning the league, because also Inter Milan has a history. It has a history of winning. It has a history of being one of the best clubs in Serie A. And again, to the Bundesliga. In fact, Xabi Alonso, something like that. That guy played a very good match this season. He had a very top-notch organization skills. Like, that was marvelous. I watched two of Bayer Leverkusen's games. I was impressed, I swear. Those guys pushed their game. Those guys played a game. Like, the counter attacks that Bayer Leverkusen was having, my friend. I even thank God we did not meet that team, because Bayer Leverkusen was playing like prime Real Madrid. They were playing like they and in fact I can tell you the players you can mention from Bayer Leverkusen, maybe 2 who are the best in the world. But Xabi Alonso has managed to turn that team into world class. And I'll tell you,
No. You should not underrate that team, because he gonna Frimpong, he gonna Boniface, Victor Boniface. That is a very sharp striker. They also have the width.
no,
That guy is very
ask
good.
yourself.
And also,
My problem is not who is Victor Boniface. My problem is who know them. How many of you like me knows them? Me nawajua. How many of you knows them? The way we know Rashford, the way we know Ronaldo, the way we know Messi. That's what I'm saying. That guy played a very young team, the same team that we are having at Chelsea. He managed to turn that team into world class, and we must commend him for that. And I
So
will
how
tell you,
long are we
Bonnie,
going to give Mauricio Pochettino time? How long?
no,
Xavi
I'm
came
not
there
talking
for
about
the
Mauricio.
last 1 year.
I'm tired of talking about Mauricio Pochettino. Let me tell you about Xabi Alonso. Alonso is being groomed so well. He's going to Real Madrid, I think, after Ancelotti leaves. And
No,
again,
he said that he's not going anywhere. He's not going
he's going to
anywhere.
Real, not now. Not now. He's being groomed to go to Real. And you know what the president of Real Madrid will do? That guy will unleash his soldiers and his bank account to make sure that Xabi Alonso ends. Because he's a legend of La Liga. We know
But
Xabi
but
Alonso. Xabi
but
Alonso,
I know Virentis, that is the owner of Real Madrid. He has a lot of money. That is why he's trying to
he'll go
convince
for him.
Kylian Mbappe to come
He'll
there.
go for him. He'll go for him. And
Okay.
I'm telling you, even
But,
Jurgen Klopp is going to Barcelona, and you will see that Jurgen Klopp will go to Barcelona one day.
those
I'm
guys,
telling you
those guys are tired. Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Carlo Ancelotti. We have Luis Enrique. I want to tell you the kind of coaches that are tired. Carlo Ancelotti is tired. Jurgen Klopp is tired. Pep Guardiola is very tired, but the kind of energy you see him in the field is not what we expect. That guy is very tired with this competition. But you
Pep has
cannot
one
know.
more season. Pep
We
has
also
one
have
more season in Man City.
the former coach for Crystal Palace, that is Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson retired. He got fair heel and he retired. So I tend to believe that these coaches are getting exhausted and they want to quit. But do you think Xavi is so young for Real Madrid?
Mark these words, Bonnie. Mark these words, Bonnie. This guy called Xabi Alonso is gonna be a Real Madrid coach one day, and I'm telling you this today, and I'm telling you that
one day can be about 10 years or 50 years.
No,
10.
In fact, Ancelotti is leaving Real Madrid next season. After next season, Ancelotti is leaving Real Madrid. And
yeah, I know Ancelotti is going for. Ancelotti is going for Brazil national team. You want to coach Brazil.
Yes.
But and now, Real Madrid, the weight of Santiago Bernabeu.
Relax. Xabi Alonso is going back there, and I've told you here, Klopp is going to Barcelona, and I'm telling you here, next season, Arsenal is not winning the league, and I'm telling you here again, Chelsea is not getting top 4, and I'm telling you here again, Man City is winning the league next season, and I'm telling you again, Barcelona is not winning the league anytime soon. That's what football has turned into. Because right now, Bonnie, let me finish. You know, right now, I watch Inter Miami more than I watch Chelsea. I watch Inter Miami twice than I watch Chelsea because Messi has turned all the US celebs. He has turned all the US people who didn't know even about football. They are now watching Inter Miami. They are talking about Inter Miami. You see, that's what we are lacking in the Premier League. We don't have those players that move the league. You know, Hazard used to be the reason why people were.
Let me ask you, for how long are we going to depend on Messi and Ronaldo? Yet now we have Ronaldo 39 years. We have Messi who is 36 years. Those guys are now getting exhausted, and they went to retire in Saudi Pro and also the National Luco USA. I want to ask Mzalendo, and I want to welcome Mzalendo into today's show because I know Mzalendo ako pale USA na anatambua hiyo Inter Miami. Mzalendo, karibu sana na utuambie ni nani anachukua ligi ya klabu mabingwa Ulaya UEFA Champions League kati ya Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, PSG and Bayern. Karibu Mzalendo.
Asante sana Boni. Unanisikiza? Asante sana kuleta Dimba Afrika. Habari Vincent, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Sijakuona for some time.
No, wewe ndio umepotea. Unajua umepotea, si ati sisi tuko kila siku tuko hapa Dimba, tuko pale kwa siasa, tunaangalia nini inafanyika. Wewe ndio umepotea. Okay. Sasa mambo hii ya ball, hii story ya ball, football, it can go, the gods of football are very funny. The gods of football. And there is also an aspect of luck in football. So the aspect of luck is on Bayern side. Depending on where this game is going to be played, I don't know where the finals will be played.
The final will be played at London, Wembley Stadium.
Wembley Stadium.
Oh, it will be in the UK, yeah. So if I look at the current form of Bayern Munich play a lot of a lot of tactical football, meaning that they have trained in each and every goal that they are going to score in the game. Even if you are leading them, they will come and approach the game with a very different attitude and catch up with you. Now, Real Madrid has got enough talent in their docket, and this game can go either way. But I can put my money on Bayern. Bayern players are very, very huge and strong on the ball, and that is what lacks in most of the teams. When you have huge players playing in your side, huge skillful players, then you can be sure of victory anytime. Ask yourself why Bayern bought Harry Kane. When they went for Harry Kane is not your average player. Harry Kane is huge, tall, and very, very skillful. He's not a good dribbler, but he's a goal poacher. Ask yourself why Man City have got this guy called Erland from Sweden. This Swedish guy scored almost in each and every game he played in Sweden. They went for him. He is not your skillful player. He's not a player who is going to, dodge or give you some nice fancy passes. No. He is somebody who is huge, tall, and you can't beat him on the box. That is what makes the difference between a team like Arsenal has got very, very skillful players, but they are not as strong as the players you find in the Bundesliga. So Bundesliga is a very, very strong league. Their match would be with Real Madrid. That game will be very, very intense, and it can go even into penalty shootouts because it has what it takes to win the game. Both teams have got very, very good coaches, and I believe with experience, Bayern has got a very experienced side. People who have played in all major tournaments. That will what will make the difference at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mzalendo. Thank you for this wonderful submission. And I have realized that you have the passion for football, and the way you understand Erling Haaland is like you have been following him, and it's like you are very happy when Manchester City is now trying to win the league for the fourth time, yet other teams are struggling. We saw Arsenal struggling, and we have seen Liverpool now. They have drawn with this poor team from London. They have finished the game with 2-2 goals. So it's like this league is going with Man City, and I know you are very happy. I know there is someone in your area who supports Man City, and it's like Man City is in your blood. Thank you, Mzalendo.
I think Man City are going to be disappointed in the long run. You wait for your next their next game. They are playing a very small team, and this is the danger of playing in the English Premier League and being at the top in the English Premier League. Every other team wants to beat you. Every other team is watching you tactically. Every other team wants to pick a point from you. The teams which are under a relegation are the most dangerous teams at the moment. Are the most dangerous teams at the moment because they will fight very, very hard. And then the back-to-back games when Man City are still in UEFA Champions League, yeah?
No, they were
No, they were
defeated
not.
by Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were defeated by Real Madrid that game. They were out. Now, this is now the danger. If Man City was in the Champions League at the moment, then I could bet that they were going to lose the league. But now that they have got only one big trophy ahead of them, they are going to give it their 100% concentration on the Premier League trophy. But having said that, you need to look at the Man City squad. The Man City squad is one of the most expensive squads in the Premier League, in the English Premier League.
By the whole world.
De Bruyne, James, the midfielder is called De Bruyne.
No, they have De Bruyne and they have this Spanish guy, Rodri.
De Bruyne is the most skillful midfielder currently in the world. And
I tend to disagree. Mzalendo, I tend to disagree with you when you are saying De Bruyne is the most.
Yes, tell me who is better than De Bruyne.
Are you trying to compare De Bruyne with the master from Croatia, Luka Modric?
Luka Modric is aging, and De Bruyne is young.
Relax. I want to answer that question. If you watched, I know you have been busy, and the time this European football is being played, maybe you are at work. But if you watch the game between Manchester City and Real Madrid during the first leg for the semi-final that was held in Emirates Stadium, I think now you saw how Luka Modric pulled a very great performance. And at the end of the game, Kevin De Bruyne requested chat and a picture with the Luka Modric. So who is the master between Luka Modric and De Bruyne?
You see, Luka Modric. Luka, do you know which country is Luka Modric coming from?
It's a Croatian.
Yeah, Luka Modric has been in this game for quite some time, and he has got the experience that you need in the game. So when you look at football, you look at how many trophies that as Luka Modric brought to his country, to Croatia. Then you go to his club performance level. How many trophies does he have? Then you go to De Bruyne James. Yeah, De Bruyne. De Bruyne is a very skillful young player.
Again, De Bruyne is 30 years. Luka Modric is 30. The difference between Luka Modric and De Bruyne is only 5 years. And 5 years make the difference?
Yes, 5 years in football is a lot. It means that a 45, for example, a 45-year-old cannot play like a 30-year-old. Yeah. A 40-year-old can, a 25-year-old cannot play like an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old boy. Their agility, their speed, with age, that is why people go in retirement in soccer. Why did Cristiano retire? Because he still had the skill, but he didn't have the speed. So that is why people like Cristiano Ronaldo retired because of age. Luka Modric.
Cristiano has not retired.
No, for me, I look at it, I look at the league that is playing at the moment. It's not a very competitive league compared to the people who would want to splash money for him in Europe, yeah, or in America.
Yeah.
So he went for and look at all the
Money.
players. You look at all the players who have been going to this particular league. Most of them have been playing in either the English Premier League or the Spanish La Liga, and they've made a mark on those particular leagues. But now they're looking for their retirement plan, just the same as the American League. Yeah, the MLS. You see, when people play in the American League, most of them, the Messi's, what is the other one, Suarez, and all that. When they come here, they were bought only to popularize the league, to make it popular. They splash a lot of money.
Marketing. They were about to market the league.
Yeah, to market the league. But funny enough, like the league that Messi is playing, there's no team that is relegated in that particular league. Everybody is like a winner. No, there's no relegation in the American League, and there's no time that you'll find a team is promoted to the American top league. So it is not it's not as competitive as the English Premier League. So no team is worried about relegation, and I think that is why America is not a powerhouse in football. In soccer, they have not taken very keen interest on seeing how they can develop their soccer and the way England, Italy, and Spain have done. The structures here do not really encourage teams to thrive, even at the local level. Local level meaning at the county level. There are not so many leagues that are played for soccer. They only play soccer for fun. Yeah, for fun, like a fun game. Yeah, so that's how it is.
Thank you, Mzalendo. And as we approach toward the end of the show, I want to welcome Vincent. I know Vincent has some remarks to say about what Mzalendo has said. Vincent, can you give us your opinions towards the end of the show, because we are almost ending the show?
Benny, I'm quite surprised that you underestimate Kevin De Bruyne, man. Kevin De Bruyne, man, has been.
No. Let me say what I meant.
No, you said the master is Modric. Modric has been a master. In every league there is a master, and in England, the master we're having now as a midfielder is De Bruyne. Whenever you see De Bruyne in the lineup,
okay, I understand. Then I'm talking. Zalando said Kevin De Bruyne is the master of midfielder in the whole world, and I said no, because I know the master is Modric.
No, Modric. Modric is in a league of his own. Bring Modric to England, and then you realize that England is not an easy league to just play around. And I tell you, Modric is a very good player, and I love Modric. I love Modric the same way I love Toni Kroos. I love those two guys. And Kovacic. Kovacic had a very good chance of playing in between those two guys, because those two guys really sharpened Modric, Kovacic a lot. And I'll tell you, the Croatian maestro Modric, who managed to win the Ballon d'Or. That guy is a good player, but De Bruyne has been all of us since 2015. De Bruyne has been a master in the Premier League. De Bruyne has been a point of reference in the Premier League. There is no other midfielder.
Yes, in the Premier League. Yes.
And which is the biggest league in the world?
Modric has been pulling performance even in the World Cup.
No, the question is, which is the biggest league in the world?
We have. I tend to disagree. I tend to disagree with you, because the Premier League is very familiar, because the teams have done marketing of that.
My friend, La Liga La Liga, if you bring those teams from La Liga to the Premier League, majority of those teams will end up parading in number 20 the whole
Can I
season.
ask you a question?
Majority of those
Can
teams.
I ask you a question?
Yes, yes.
Did Modric played against Man City? Modric played against Manchester United. Modric has played against Chelsea. Modric has played against Tottenham. Are those not teams from Premier League?
We beat Man City 3-1. Real Madrid, in fact, Real Madrid versus Man City, the recent game that we watched, the quarterfinals, Real Madrid had only one corner. Man City had 800 passes. I don't know, 800 passes.
Individual performance.
Go look at the individual performance. Go look at individual performance. If Real Madrid managed to get only 295 passes the whole game, I don't know, if they managed to garner 295 passes, because they were relying on counter attacks. That's not how midfielders show. But you saw what Real Man City did. And that's why I'm telling you, we cannot compare Modric and De Bruyne in different ways, because we must compare apples to apples. If you want to compare De Bruyne, compare him with the midfielders we have in the league right now. Because Modric has been playing in a farmers league in La Liga. La Liga is a farmers league. They are surrounded by the best players in the world. Look at the defense of Real Madrid. You have Rudiger, you have Alaba, you have, I don't know. But in England, right now, you get a chance to play against a very weak defense like Maguire. I don't know. You have this Badiashile guy. You have, I don't know, these names that we talk about. But Real Madrid will always invest in quality players. That's why they don't want to let Modric go, because Modric is the only midfielder right now in La Liga. I don't know if they can sign another midfielder in the
they
class
have a lot of midfielders. No, you know, they have just raised Eduardo Camavinga. They have Rodrigo.
Rodrigo is a number 9. He plays well in position 9. In fact, I love him when he plays forward.
Anarudi nyuma. Huwa anarudisha nyuma na Carlo Ancelotti mpaka anakuja midfield.
They are killing him. They are killing his talent. That's why he needs a good coach. He needs a good coach. Rodrigo is you saw what the kind of goal he scored against Chelsea when
I have two players in Real Madrid that are used by coach either as a striker or midfielder. We have Rodrigo and Valverde, the Uruguayan guy. Those two guys can play as a midfielder and a striker. And Ancelotti amekutumia hivyo.
Boni, ndo maana nakwambia, na acha nitumie Kiswahili. De Bruyne bana, for the past 10 years or so, De Bruyne has created a name for himself. Because I will not also compare De Bruyne to N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante is the best in the world. N'Golo Kante is the best midfielder we've ever seen. Lakini sasa the position that N'Golo Kante was playing is CDM. You see, you cannot compare now the CDM position that N'Golo Kante was playing to any other midfielder in the world except Yaya Toure, Makelele. You see, those are the kind of positions you compare. But when you're comparing De Bruyne to other players, also consider that Modric also plays box to box. He can play number 8. He can play number 10. You see, De Bruyne can play everywhere. CDM can play wherever you want him. Striker, and he scores goals. That's the good thing about De Bruyne. De Bruyne has assisted. There's a season that guy managed to assist almost 20 assists in one season.
I am not undermining Kevin De Bruyne.
Now we're out of that context. Now let me talk about the Champions League, because you did not ask me that question. And I think Mzalendo made a very good point there. And I think in football there's something we call luck. You remember in 2021 when Chelsea won the league, we were the most underrated team to win that. We were the most underrated team. We were even surprised that we won it. In fact, the moment we beat Real Madrid, ndio ukweli ilitupiga, kumbe hii kitu tunaweza shinda, because when we had one of the weakest team ever, we had come from the politics of the UK. Abramovich was being followed everywhere. We didn't have even planes to travel to our match days. We were coming out of Corona. We were coming from the coaching of Lampard, but we managed to win the Champions League because of what Mzalendo says. In football, there's something we call the gods, or the luck. The luck that we had in 2021 is the exact thing that right now Bayern has. You saw what happened to Bayern. Everybody thought that Bayern was going to lose this thing. Everybody thought that.
Are you trying to say that Bayern Munich has luck?
My friend, Arsenal managed to control the game You know, Bayern has already bottled the league, the Bundesliga, na tumeongea Bayer Leverkusen iliwaacha na gap ya karibu 17 points. You see, that shows that the form ya Bayern ilishuka kitambo, but in Champions League you saw what happened. They have moved from group stage miraculously. They have moved. Okay, they had a very good pool. Their pool was the best because they had weak teams surrounding them. Man U was among them, I think. Sindio?
Yeah,
walilima hiyo team. Well, Man U is weak. Walilima hiyo team. But right now, in rounds of 16, everybody thought Bayern is going home. In quarterfinals, everybody thought Bayern is going home. Right now, they are going to face Real Madrid. Everybody thinks that Real Madrid is not the underdog in that game. My friend, I'm telling you today, Bayern is not the underdog in that game, and Bayern is gonna win that game very early in the morning.
Bro, let me tell you, there is no any single day you'll tell me that Bayern Munich is an underdog. Well, they have Hurricane, well, they have Serge Gnabry, well, they have Joshua Kimmich, well, they have yeah. No, that one I'll never agree. Anyone who tells me Bayern Munich is an underdog.
I'm not saying they are the underdog. In the eyes of media, in the eyes of fans, everybody was, watu walikuwa wanasema hii hakuna mahali inaenda. Tunajua Bayern hakuna mahali inaenda. No. In fact, it will be miraculous if they beat Arsenal. That's what people are saying. Of course, mimi nilikwambia Bayern inashinda game. I told you, and that came to pass. And I'm telling you today that Bayern Munich is gonna find itself in the finals. And I'm telling you, not unless they meet PSG. If they meet Dortmund, they are gonna lose. If they meet Dortmund, they are gonna lose in the finals. But wakipatana na PSG, they will win it. I'm telling you today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I know.
Champions League is between Dortmund now and Bayern. Those are the teams that are riding on luck. Those are the two teams that are riding on luck, and that is gonna help them win this trophy. Kwa Premier League now tumefunga, Man City imeenda nayo. And that's where I disagree with what Mzalendo said. I told you here before, Man City has no team that is rivaling with them. There's no team that cares whether Man City wins or loses the league. Man City will score 2 goals and you see the players losing up. Wanaanza kuweka under 18 waguzaguze before season ishe. Uliona what happened with Brighton. In a few minutes they had started putting up young players and small kids to play against the mighty Man City. That's the kind of mentality that we are having right now in the league. So Bonnie, as we end this podcast, I think it's time we give up to give up bana. Sisi kama Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal, sisi tungoje tu coach Pep atoke EPL ndio tuanze kucompete, because Man City has turned the league into Farmers League, and it's very embarrassing to say that. Nowadays the league is not even entertaining, man. The league is not even entertaining anymore because we are, I don't know, man. Anyway, thank you for this time, and I hope that leo sikuwa nimetengenezea watu odds because I wasn't aware of the podcast, but I think the bet I gave you last time, for those who watched, that bet had around 4.95 odds. For those who betted like me, I managed to put 500 shillings and I made a good money there. So I think next time again I'm coming with 5 odds. For those fans of us who follow until the end, I'll give them those odds, and that will be the trend every weekend. Na watafutia odd 5, wale wawekezaji mnaweka pesa yenu yote na mnaenda mnalala. Thank you very much for this wonderful podcast, and see you in the political session.
Yo, thank you so much. This is the Dimbal Afrique, whereby every Saturday you will enjoy and get to know what happens when it comes to sports, and also athletics and all types of sports industry that we have in the whole world. We have discussed Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, and we also discussed a lot of things when it comes to the title, where there is some competition in the Premier League. Now we are almost in game number 33, but again, we don't know who is going to win. And also we know some leagues such as Bundesliga, Serie A, they have been already announced the winner. Italy, we have the Inter Milan. Bundesliga, we have the Bayern Leverkusen led by Xabi Alonso. So we know that when it comes to those leagues now, they have already got the winner. But now here we have the tough competition, whereby we don't know who is going to win. And also we have discussed UEFA Champions League, whereby we want to know who is going to win. Thank you so much for today. As we terminate the show, I want to welcome Zalendo to say final words as we finish the show. Welcome, Zalendo.
No, my final word is that I wish Bayern could just kill Man City and win no, not Man City. Man City is already out.
Yeah, Man City is already out. I told you you have
Man City is already out. But anyway, we have a big game to watch. We have the Real Madrid versus Bayern. That is a must watch. I will put my money on the Germans. They are going to beat Real Madrid, and of course they're going to win the Champions League. Otherwise, thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Vincent, and see you next time, same place, same time. Timbala Break. Thank you. Cheers.
Patano kwa siasa.